The 5 things you need to know about your consumer debt in order to blitz it and get it free from your life. One of the most frightening statistics is that over 93% of people who have some form of consumer debt, a credit card, an overdraft, a store loan, an IOU, revolving credit facility, all these different ways that institutions and banks try to keep you in debt, have no idea actually what is going on in their debt world, because it's very easy for us to disconnect from this thing called consumer debt. In a way, it's easy to just go la 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 la. But when you decide to break free from debt, when you've gone, okay, this is enough, I realize consumer debt is going to destroy my life, my freedom, my wealth, and I'm going to break free from it forever because I choose me and I'm more important than anything that I could possibly buy on a credit card. Then there are 5 key things you must know about that debt before you can even start blitzing it. The very first thing is you've got to know who you owe. So you've got to open those envelopes, you've got to open those emails, you've got to go on a treasure hunt. And I say a treasure hunt because you're going to free yourself when you find these gems. You've got to go, what are all the debts? Who do I owe? And make a list of them. So every single debt that you owe, and you might as well also include your neutral and expansion debt on this. List it all down so you know where you stand. Because here's the thing. In order to get to somewhere else, you need to put a plan in place. You need to get direction. You need to get movement and flow. But you can't get to that new place, that financial freedom, that free of debt, if you don't know where you currently are. And that's also what keeps many people stuck, because they go, and I want to break free of debt. And I say, well, tell me what's going on in your life. Well, I don't know. And that is so devastating. So who do you owe? Second question is, how much do you owe each person? Every credit card, every store card, you list them out and then you say, what is the outstanding balance? So 1, who, how much? The third thing you must know is, what is the interest rate? Super, super important. What is the interest rate you are being charged on your outstanding balance? And there might even be different charges depending on whether it's things that you have bought on that credit card, whether you've withdrawn cash on that credit card, whether you've done a balance transfer. But you want to understand, what are those charges. So few people understand the interest rate they're being charged on their debt, let alone what that even means. And so super important you understand that interest rate. The fourth element you must know is, what is your contractual minimum repayment that you must pay on that debt? Every single debt you take on has a contracted minimum repayment. Now, what is terrifying, in most countries, by law, the minimum repayment somebody who's in debt must pay is 1% of the outstanding balance plus the interest for that month is the monthly minimum repayment. This is almost nothing. If you are only paying 1% plus the interest on that side, you are hardly making any dent in that debt. And that is why, if you're only paying minimum repayment, you will end up paying between 5 and 7 times more than the base amount that you borrowed. Plus, it could take you between 15 and 22 years to clear, just based on the average interest rates currently being charged out there in the world. And if you've got a bad credit rating and you've taken on a credit card or a loan with a higher interest than average because of, out of desperation, that was going to be even more. So super important, you've got to understand the interest rate. So we've got what debts you owe, how much you owe, what is the interest rate, what is the minimum repayment. And then, using a simple credit card repayment calculator, which you can find on the internet, you want to work out that if you only pay the minimum repayment, how many months is it going to take you to clear that debt? And that is often a huge eye-opener. And these are the 5 key bits of information you need to put together a structured debt blitzing plan, because with that you're going to understand what is your total debt owing, what is the minimum repayment you must pay just to stay out of getting a court judgment or getting, stay out of trouble with those that you borrowed from. But how many months it will take you, years it will take you if you only take the minimum repayments, and also give you the basis on which to calculate which is your priority debt. So now you've got that information, you can put together your debt blitzing plan. And the key element with the debt blitzing plan is you only focus on one priority debt at a time, and this is super important. You keep paying the minimum repayments on all your other debts, but you choose a priority debt, and you get 10% of all of the income that comes into your life, and you pay that onto that debt in addition to the minimum repayment. So which is your priority debt? The priority debt is the debt that you're going to pay off quickest. That's why it's important to know how many months would it take to clear if you only paid the minimum repayment. So you look at the debt with the shortest amount of time that it would have taken, and that becomes your priority debt. And a lot of people say, but Anne, wouldn't it be more logical to pay off and focus on the debt with the highest interest rate? Well, you would think so. But here's the bottom line. Money, wealth is fundamentally not logical. It's primarily emotional. And this is why focusing on the debt with the smallest repayment time, really blitzing that and clearing that from your life, triggers your serotonin, triggers your dopamine, triggers that, yay, I'm making progress, and will help you stay the course and give you momentum. Whereas for many people, if they focus on the debt with the highest interest rate, although logically it's going to save them more money, will often take them more time, and so they'll lose momentum and not get that reward of success. So you put together that debt blitzing plan, you automate it, and you celebrate that you are freeing yourself from this thing called consumer debt. My name is Ann Wilson, and if you're watching this anywhere then over at thewealthchef.com, head on over there, and in the comments below the video, I'd love you to share how much consumer debt you have and make a commitment to break it free from your life. Why am I asking you to do this? Because one, you're going to have to go through the steps to work out exactly how much consumer debt you have, so hopefully it'll motivate you to take that action. But two, by just sharing where you're at, you'll also be able to de-energize any shame or guilt around it, so that you can just look at it practically and deal with it in that way instead of hiding it, because that's how we keep having this funky relationship with money. So I dare you to be brave, and if you've got no debt, no consumer debt, share that too with a big celebration, because that's something to be super proud of. Keep taking baby steps, free yourself from debt, focus on building assets, let money support you to live your greatest, juiciest life.